Welcome back to the True Detectives podcast, everybody. Buckle up for another crazy story, another wild ride through the twisted world of investigations. This week, we're diving into a case that's going to leave you scratching your head. A tale of a detective, an ancient mythical creature, and a whole heaping dose of paranoia.
You got that right. It's a real head scratcher, that's for sure. We've got these notes here, and they paint a pretty vivid picture of Detective Vaan's quest to uncover a citywide conspiracy. A real doozy by the sounds of it. But here's the catch. He ends up relying on something called the Serpent, this mythical entity to reveal the truth. Sounds kind of promising, right?
Like a shortcut to justice, right? Cut through all the lies and get straight to the facts. But as you'll hear, this investigation takes a dark turn, a seriously unexpected one, and it raises some fascinating questions about trust, perception, the whole shebang. So let's unpack this bizarre investigation piece by piece.
Yeah, let's get into it.
All right, so picture this. A city riddled with secrets, right? A conspiracy so deeply rooted it feels like the whole place is built on lies. And our guy Vanglin, he's hitting a wall. Every lead goes nowhere. Every witness seems to be spinning a yarn. You can almost feel his frustration, his desperation growing with every dead end.
The notes really capture that sense of hitting a brick wall. Conventional methods are failing, and Vanglin, driven by this burning need to uncover the truth, well, he makes a pretty radical decision. He decides to ditch the usual detective playbook and dives headfirst into the world of the occult.
And that's where this ancient tome enters the picture. It's not just any old book, though. It's described as this repository of ancient magic, chock full of potent rituals and forgotten knowledge. Can you imagine the weight of that? The secrets hidden within those pages. And it's from this very book that Vanglin stumbles upon the Serpent and the ritual to summon it. Talk about a leap of faith, right?
Yeah, it's a pretty stark contrast. On one hand, you have the rational world of detective work, logic, evidence, deduction. And on the other, you've got this ancient magic summoning mythical creatures. It really speaks to the lengths people will go to when they're desperate for answers, especially when faced with this kind of overwhelming deception. It makes you wonder, where do you turn when all the usual paths lead to dead ends?
Like, what do you do when the world itself seems to be lying to you? Do you stick to the rules, or do you break them all in the name of truth? Tough call.
Definitely. And then there's the ritual itself, right? It sounds like something straight out of a folklore anthology. Chalk circles, bitter herbs, these whispered incantations. It's a far cry from fingerprint dusting and witness lineups, wouldn't you say?
Yeah, you're not going to find this kind of stuff in a police procedural. But it's what Vaan does. He takes the plunge. And then there's the Serpent itself. It's not described as this monstrous beast, fangs and claws and all. Instead, it's more like the notes say it's a slithering strand of darkness.
Kind of creepy, right. And it's got these intelligent eyes, really unsettling. It's not a physical threat, not in the traditional sense anyway. It's something different.
Right. It's more about influence, about getting inside your head. And the way it supposedly reveals the truth, well, that's just as unusual. No booming pronouncements, no dramatic confessions. It whispers directly into Vaan's mind, but not with words. It shows him images, vivid pictures that expose lies and corruption, like a direct download of deceit right into his brain.
Imagine that, just suddenly seeing through all the facades, all the carefully constructed lies. It must have been a game changer for Vaan, at least at first. Yeah, you can see how he would have been drawn to it, especially after hitting so many walls. It's like finding a cheat code for the investigation. And initially, it seems to work exactly as advertised. The case explodes wide open, Vaan starts seeing through the lies, exposing corrupt individuals left and right. You gotta figure he felt like he was finally getting somewhere.
Like he finally had the upper hand. But, and this is where things start to get really hairy, the Serpent's whispers, they take a turn. They go from exposing external lies to planting these seeds of doubt, paranoia, right in Vaan's own mind. It's not just about the world anymore. It's about him, his perception of reality. It's like the ground beneath him is starting to shift.
It's a classic example of how the pursuit of truth, especially when it becomes an obsession, can actually backfire. It's like the constant focus on deception, on lies, starts to warp your perception of everything. You start seeing shadows where there are none, and you end up trusting no one, not even yourself.
And it starts to affect his relationships, too. He begins to suspect his own partner, someone he's supposed to trust implicitly, right? And a close friend, someone who's genuinely concerned for him. These are the people on his side, the ones who should have his back, and yet the Serpent is turning him against them. It's a classic move, divide and conquer.
It's tragic, really. It shows how easily suspicion can erode even the strongest bonds, how the constant exposure to lies can make it impossible to discern genuine loyalty from potential betrayal. It's like a poison that seeps into everything, twisting your perception of even the people you love.
And then there's Jonas. The notes describe him as Varjan's rock, the one light in Vajan's darkening world. This guy sounds like the epitome of loyalty, the last person Vaan should be questioning. So why do you think the Serpent targeted him specifically?
Well, Jonas represents something pure, something untainted in Vajan's increasingly suspicious world. By targeting him, the Serpent isolates Vaan even further, stripping away his support system and making him even more reliant on the Serpent's whispers. It's a calculated move designed to break Vaan completely.
And the way the Serpent does it is so subtle, so insidious. It plants this fleeting memory in Valan's mind, something vague and ambiguous. Jonas slipping a piece of paper, quick glance exchanged with someone suspicious. It's not even clear if it actually happened, but the doubt is there, lingering. The notes say, or was it a trick in the eye? That little detail speaks volumes about the power of suggestion.
Absolutely. It's not about concrete evidence anymore. It's about creating that sliver of doubt, that tiny crack in Valian's trust. And once that crack appears, it's all too easy for paranoia to seep in and widen the gap. It's a masterclass in psychological manipulation.
And from that point on, Valan's mental state really deteriorates. He's losing sleep, his mind's racing, he's constantly replaying the Serpent's whispers, trying to make sense of them. The line between reality and the Serpent's twisted perceptions, it just blurs, disappears. It's a full-blown descent into madness.
It's a classic case of paranoia, a textbook example. Everything, even the most mundane, everyday occurrences, get filtered through this lens of suspicion, of mistrust. It's like a self-fulfilling prophecy, a vicious cycle where every thought, every observation just confirms the Serpent's whispers, no matter how outlandish they may be.
And it all culminates in this dramatic confrontation in Vajan's office. Can you imagine the tension in that room? The unspoken accusations hanging in the air? Vajan's words are described as bitter, desperate. He's clearly at his breaking point, consumed by suspicion and mistrust.
And Jonas's reaction is heartbreaking. It's not anger, not defensiveness, just pure fear for his friend. He sees how far gone Vaan is, how deeply the Serpent's poison has seeped into his mind. He knows that no amount of reasoning, no amount of pleading can bring Vaan back from the brink.
And he tries, doesn't he? He makes this impassioned plea, this last-ditch effort to reach Vaan. He says, the Serpent isn't truth. It thrives on doubt. It amplifies the darkness within you. It's a moment of clarity, a stark warning. But it falls on deaf ears.
It's tragic because Jonas understands the truth, the real truth, better than Valagan does at this point. He sees the Serpent for what it is, not a benevolent revealer of truth, but a parasite that feeds on doubt, on fear. But Valen's so far gone, so consumed by the Serpent's whispers, that he can't even hear his friend's warning. It's like talking to a wall.
And the aftermath is devastating. The trust between them, that unshakable bond they once shared, it's shattered maybe beyond repair. It's the ultimate price of Valian's obsession, his relentless pursuit of absolute truth. It's a sobering reminder that sometimes the search for answers can lead to far greater losses than we could ever imagine.
It's a cautionary tale, really. It shows us that there are some lines you just shouldn't cross, some shortcuts that are better left untaken. And it makes you think, what's more important? Knowing the truth, no matter the cost, or preserving the bonds of trust and friendship that hold us together.
Heavy stuff, for sure. And then finally, Vaan has this epiphany, this chilling realization. He understands that the Serpent wasn't just revealing lies, it was actively infecting him with its own brand of deceit. It's like the tool he used to see through the darkness ended up blinding him completely.
It's a powerful image, isn't it? The very thing that promised clarity ended up distorting his perception of reality even further. It's like a virus, masquerading as a cure. It tricks you into trusting it, then slowly, insidiously takes over your system.
And so he performs this desperate banishment ritual, trying to free himself from the Serpent's grip. He's like a man possessed, frantically trying to exorcise this demon from his mind. It's clear that the urgency of the situation has finally dawned on him, that he's in way over his head.
It's a moment of panic, a realization that he's been playing with forces he doesn't fully understand. He's gone too far, and now he's desperate to undo the damage. But it's too late. The Serpent's influence has already taken root.
And even as it departs, the Serpent leaves with a mocking hiss, a final insult, a reminder of its victory. It's like it's saying, my work here is done, you're on your own now. Chilling, right? It makes you wonder if the Serpent's true goal was ever about revealing the city's secrets, or if it was always about corrupting Vaan, twisting him from the inside out.
It's like the Serpent saw Vaan as a pawn in a much larger game, a means to sow chaos and discord. The city's conspiracy, the truth Vaan was so desperately seeking, it was all secondary. It was just the bait, the hook that lured him in. The real prize was Vaan himself, his sanity, his soul.
So Vaan destroys the tome, that ancient book that started it all, like he's trying to erase any trace of the Serpent's existence. But the city's conspiracy remains, a looming shadow over everything. And Vaan, well, he's left to grapple with the aftermath, the lingering paranoia, the shattered trust. It's a Pyrrhic victory, a hollow triumph.
It's a reminder that shortcuts rarely lead to the desired destination. Sometimes the quickest path is actually the most dangerous one, and the pursuit of truth, especially when it becomes an obsession, can lead to far greater losses than we could ever imagine.
And now the real battle begins for Vaan. He's not just fighting against a citywide conspiracy anymore, he's fighting against himself, against the echoes of the Serpent's whispers, the lingering paranoia that taints every thought, every interaction. It's a battle for his own mind, his own sanity. And it's a battle he may never fully win.
It's a long road to recovery, a constant struggle to differentiate between real threats and imagined ones, to rebuild trust, to regain some semblance of normalcy. But it's a battle worth fighting, because even in the darkest depths of paranoia, there's always a glimmer of hope, a chance for redemption.
Phew, what a story. This investigation really makes you think, doesn't it? About the nature of truth, the allure of shortcuts, and the dangers of unchecked paranoia. It's a chilling reminder that sometimes the things we seek, the answers we crave, can end up destroying us from the inside out. Jonas's plea that the serpent was amplifying Vaesen's inner darkness, was it a desperate attempt to save his friend, or was Vaesen too far gone to even hear it?
It's a question that lingers, doesn't it? Was Vaesen a victim of circumstance, manipulated by a malevolent entity, or was there something within him, some pre-existing vulnerability, that made him susceptible to the serpent's influence? It's a complex issue, and there's no easy answer.
It leaves us with a lot to ponder. Can the pursuit of truth become so consuming, so obsessive, that it blinds us to the dangers within ourselves and our relationships? Detective Vaan's story serves as a stark reminder that sometimes the most insidious threats aren't the external enemies we face, but the internal battles we wage within our own minds.
It's a reminder that we need to be careful, to be critical, to question our own perceptions, especially when faced with information that seems too good to be true. Because sometimes the truth can be a double-edged sword, and the cost of knowing it can be far greater than we ever imagined.
We want to hear your take on all this.
Yeah.
What do you think about the Verity Serpent? Was it a malevolent force, or just a catalyst for Varian's own internal struggles? And do you think Varian can ever truly escape its influence? Hit us up in the comments. Let us know what you think. And don't forget to rate and follow the True Detectives podcast for more of these mind-bending investigations, these crazy detective stories, this never-ending quest to separate fact from mystery. We'll see you next time for another deep dive into the unexpected.